stages to chanting the holy name, technically called as Nam, Namabhas, and Shuddhanam. So Nam, when we chant the holy name in the initial stages, it is bound to be with offenses because we are in a contaminated state, and the contamination is not just of this lifetime but also of our prarabdhas, of our previous accumulated karmas. So the chanting in the initial stages of our Krishna consciousness is bound to be filled with offenses. So that is why it is called the stage of offensive chanting. But even in the stage of offensive chanting, it's not that Srila Prabhupada always says that, just like he always gave this very beautiful example to explain the three stages of the chanting. I'll give the analogy in a second. Just let me explain the three stages first. So the Nam is with offensive, while we are still committing offenses. We are committing offenses to the holy names. The 10 offenses that we just recited, we are full of those offenses. Then when we are chanting, we are committing offenses to the dham, we are committing offenses to the seva, to the services. There's so many kinds of offenses that we are committing. So in the initial stages, we are committing quite a bit number of offenses. But Srila Prabhupada always says that we should never lose hope, that the process of chanting itself will make us get purified so that we can move to the next stage, which is Nam Abhas. Nam Abhas. Abhas means to get an inkling, to get a vision, to get a sight, to get a signal, something like that is what Abhas means. So Nam Abhas, which means that we are still dealing and tactfully handling the offenses, but still we are not at the level of spontaneous chanting. We are not at the level of pure chanting. The offenses may be counteracted, and we are still working. We're still working on our offenses, on counteracting the offenses. That is called the Namabhas stage. It is the stage greater than offensive chanting, and it is a stage less than Shuddhanam. The third stage, which is called as Shuddhanam, Srila Prabhupada describes is that which is completely free of all offenses, and it is pure chanting of the holy names, incessantly, chanting the holy names. So these three offenses, the very beautiful analogy that Srila Prabhupada gave is that on a cloudy day, when we cannot see the sun is covered with clouds. It doesn't mean that the sun is not there. It's just that we cannot see the sun because we are on earth, which is below the clouds, and the clouds are getting the sun covered up. The sun is above the clouds. So our offenses are like that cloud which do not allow us to see the most bright, effulgent form of the holy name, to be able to realize that the holy name is a personality, to be able to relish and bask in the sunlight of the holy name. We are not getting access to that because of the cloud of offenses that are covering the sun-like holy name. And then when right after, when the rain comes and then the clouds are getting dissipated, the sun is just coming out little by little but getting covered again, getting little by little we see the sun. That is the stage of Namabhas, when it is like the clearing stage of the clouds. So that stage is the second stage of chanting. And then comes Shuddhanam, which when we are able to rise above the ground and when we are flying over the clouds, that time, when we are in an airplane, we can really experience this stage. That when we are on the airplane, we are actually flying above the clouds. So there's no question of the clouds hiding the sun. We can see the sun directly. So that time, we are not getting the hindrance of the clouds covering the sun. That is Shuddhanam. So in the beginning, in the initial stages of our japam, It is sometimes really, really tough to be able to control our mind in carefully following the 10 offenses. You know, the 10 offenses we recite every day, but how much are we deeply trying to apply the 10 offenses in our lives? How much are we really trying to, live by those 10 offenses? Given the instructions of our spiritual master, considering the names of the demigods, the first offense, which is committing offenses to Vaishnavas, talking ill about Vaishnavas, that is the first offense to the holy name. Very serious one. And that is the root cause of all the other offenses. So, how much are we really trying? And the level to how much we are really trying to consciously avoid chanting with offenses, or trying to, counteract the offenses, trying to avoid offenses in our lives, that much Krishna will reciprocate with us. Ye yathamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. That how much we want to surrender to Krishna, how much we desire to, chant offenselessly, that much Krishna will respond. That much Krishna will reciprocate. There is no doubt about that. When we are in the Nam stage, in the initial stage, we have to force ourselves to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have to force ourselves to just complete our chanting of the holy names. Our, prescribed number of chanting. Oh, I finished 10 rounds. I've got 6 more to go. When we are in that kind of stage, that is definitely the initial stage of our chanting. But when we start thinking, oh no, I've done 14 rounds, I've got only 2 more rounds to finish my prescribed number of rounds, and then I can keep chanting extra, but my prescribed number of rounds is getting over. That is, at least we're trying to develop and be in the Namabhas stage. And Shuddhanam is, like it is said that one of our acharyas, when he would answer nature's call, he would actually have to hold his tongue, because his tongue would incessantly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And because he realized that Krishna, whenever he would chant Hare Krishna, that Krishna would literally dance on his tongue. He would say, when I am doing my nasty business of answering nature's call, how can I allow Krishna to dance on my tongue? So he would hold his tongue so that he could consciously stop himself from chanting the holy name while he is answering nature's call. That is Shuddhanam stage, where we are so spontaneously chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without stopping, without cessation. That is the stage that we need to aspire to. That is called sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. That we are doing regulated sadhana bhakti right now, so that one day or the other, we will be able to relish Shuddhanam. We will be able to develop Raganuga bhakti, spontaneous devotional service. Mentioning in the middle of the class about, not losing hope. What Srila Jayapataka Maharaj had told us. He said that although when we are in the initial stages of offensive chanting, even when we are in the namabhas stage of the clearing of offenses chanting, in these 2 stages also we should never lose hope. There is hope, because once we reach the Shuddhanam stage, he gave us this analogy which was very often given by Srila Prabhupada. He said that there was once a person who did not know how gold looks, how the commodity gold looks like. So he was told by a person that, okay, you go up the stairs and you open the door on your right hand side. When you open the door, there will be something very shiny, glittery, and golden in color. That is gold. So then this person went up the stairs, he opened the door, and he saw this shiny, glittery thing and said, oh, this is gold. He had that realization. Oh, now I know what is gold. But then when he looked back, he saw that the door was made of gold. The stairs were also made of gold. So Jayapataka Maharaj very beautifully explains that the process of chanting the holy name and the ultimate goal of chanting the holy name is actually the same. So while we are in the process of chanting the holy name, we should realize that we are in the process of, Shuddhanam. We are in the process of developing Shuddhanam. That is our hope. And with that hope, we chant the holy names. And with utter dependence on Krishna, with utter dependence on Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, because it was by the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu that we have access to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So whenever we chant, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we must glorify Mahaprabhu. We must take shelter of the Panchatattva. Chanting Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And who gave us the mercy of Mahaprabhu? It is Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Vargas. So we must seek shelter of Srila Prabhupada and of all of our Guru Vargas who have very mercifully given us this rare treasure of chanting the holy names of Krishna. So when Krishna sees that we have gratitude towards the people who have given us this very rare gift of Krishna consciousness, that attitude of gratitude is what makes Krishna give his mercy to us. A grateful heart is always the true recipient of Krishna's mercy. So we must develop an attitude of gratitude so that we can attract the mercy of Krishna. That is the only hope that we have. So with this...